Hi there. This video is going to be pretty different. This is going to be a not how-to video. You see, yesterday I had to do something and I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and take pictures and videos of what I'm doing and I'll make a real quick how-to video because I've done this a bunch of times in my life and that's not what happened. Yeah, mistakes were made yesterday. I made a few mistakes. So this is actually a not how-to video on how to unclog a gray line. Let's dive right in. This right here is my gray line. And for the last couple of days, I've had frogs end up in my laundry room. Now, when that happens, it's usually because the gray line is clogged by acorns or pine cones or grass, leaves, whatever little animals decide to put in there. Now, I know I could put a screen at the end of that hole right there or some chicken wire or something, but if I did that, I wouldn't have anything to bitch about now, would I? Okay, that's not true, but I do need to put a screen there. I don't. And honestly, I need to today after I'm done doing this because this is like the third fucking time I've had to go and fix this gray line in the last few months. So, anyhow, so here's the gray line. Real quick, I did take a picture of this plant right here. This is pokeweed for any of you that don't know. That's the stuff that poke salad's made out of. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the song Poke Salad Annie. Yeah, that's the plant right there. This plant is actually toxic. The berries, if you eat them, you will die. And I've never eaten poke salad either because, like yesterday, I tend to make mistakes from time to time. And if I screw up, I don't know, cooking the leaves proper like or whatnot, I could die. So I'm not going to mess with that. Okay, my gray line feeds out down a hill. And it's not the steepest hill in the world. I'd say it's probably at about a 50-degree angle. So I have to stand behind the rotor-rooter, because again, I've done this quite a few times, and kind of lean into it so it doesn't roll down the hill. But in order to even get it stable enough to do that, you got to go get yourself some handy-dandy 2x4s. So 2x4s are down, everything's ready. And this is it. This is the electric eel that I rent from the hardware store. I couldn't tell you how many times this electric eel, this particular one right here, because it's always the same one that I get, has been at my house. It's been here quite a few times, not just for the gray line. I've gotten this guy for many reasons, because I try to not call a plumber. Now, some of you may be saying, oh, why don't you just have your partner do it? Well, because he's busy. Yesterday he was at work. It's fucking summer. It's hot where he works. He comes home. He's not going to want to deal with this shit. Well, what about the weekend? Same thing. On the weekend, after he's been working in the summer, in the heat, all week long, he's not going to want to do this shit. And that's why I talk about traditional gender roles and how I don't really like them in the sense that men always get strapped with these fucking honey-do lists. Okay? Ladies, if you have time, learn how to do this stuff. Okay? Are you going to make mistakes? Of course. You're going to see here today. I made a shit ton of mistakes. One quite dangerous one, too. But you just do it. And you're not doing it because you're a strong, independent woman and trying to compete with men. You do these things to make your partner's life easier because that's one of your jobs in life. Okay, let's continue. So I got this thing here. And again, I do this so I don't have to call a plumber because they're expensive in my area. And this thing only cost me $43. Now that I'm thinking about it and how many times I've rented it, I may have been able to purchase one of these for the amount of times I've spent $43. So I might look into buying one now. Just thought of that. Now, let's talk about safety first. I have very long hair, so before I do anything, the first thing I do is go into the bathroom and put a hair tie in my hair. And I pull it back because I've had a run-in with a power tool before, and that was in my early 20s. I got a impact drill wrapped in my hair. Now, luckily, those things turn off real quickly when you release the trigger because it went all the way up to my scalp and it didn't luckily rip my fucking hair out. I was able to back it out. Thankfully was able to back it out because I'll tell you what, that could have been a fucking nightmare. Okay. This little electric eel, though does not look big, is very heavy. So the first thing I had to do was load it into the wheelbarrow to take it down to where the gray line is. So it's down at the gray line. It's all set up on 2x4s. And as you can see, the snake is ready to enter. So now we've got it going in. I'm sure some of the men watching this right now are looking at me going, what the fuck are you doing? You're wearing gloves. Yes, I am wearing gloves. I'm wearing gloves because I don't like touching the snake because this is a rental and I don't know where it's been. Okay? I don't have the machine on. I'm just pulling. Okay? I'm just pulling and things are going good. And I'm not ruining my deerskin gloves because I'm using house gloves. All right, so it's in part way, and I made sure to get my handy dandy little foot pedal down, and then I plugged it in. I did the test, lights out, reset, lights on, we're good to go. And I'm going to pull a little bit more and push and pull and push and pull and push. And then I'm going to do what it does, or make it do what it does. And then I stop it and I pull and fucking absolutely nothing happens and nothing comes out. And this is the first time this has ever happened to me. Usually I get it in there, turn it on, click, 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 boom. Acorns come out, water comes out, life goes on. That is not what happened yesterday. So I had to do this multiple times, and every time this happened, I get the same result. I'm getting the same exact result, and I'm getting rather frustrated. But then it dawns on me that I have another area further up the line, more towards the, or closer to the washing machine, I should say, that I can access because we had to put a screen on it recently because there were fucking animals putting acorns in the hole. So I go over, I pop the screen off, and this is what I'm met with. Boy, that is so much fun right there. So I go over, I get the Roto-Rooter, carry it over there, not with the wheelbarrow, which pisses me off because it's heavy. And it's too narrow to carry in the wheelbarrow. So I get it there, I get it in position. And then I go to get my extension cord, and I realize that the day before yesterday, I was in a hurry, and I didn't wrap the extension cord up properly. So get mad for not wrapping the extension cord up properly, taking the time to do it because you're being in a hurry, when you really weren't in that big of a fucking hurry. So now I'm mad. So I'm cussing at myself for not wrapping this up. Of course, I'm cussing at the extension cord for getting tangled. And then I walk over and I go to put my glove back on and I got a fucking hole in it. So get pissed off now because I got a hole in the glove. So now I'm mad. Okay? So this is what you do. You get mad at the extension cord. You get mad at the glove. And then you begin. You start getting it in. It's going pretty good. Now, as you can see, you look, there's water. It's backed up. Okay. There's obviously a problem. Go ahead and plug everything in and hit that reset button. First you hit the test button, click, it shuts off, everything's good. Hit the reset button, comes back on, good to go. Get ready to do the thing. So you hit the little foot pedal, things go. Then you stop and you walk over to see if any of the water's coming out. I walk over to the end of the gray line, and lo and behold, it's a trickle. It did not work. It didn't work. Walk back over to where the Roto-Rooter is. Call your extension cord a fucking horror as you do so. And then you do this. I'm going to pause this for a second. This is where mistakes get made. Okay? This is where mistakes get made. I thought that it would be A-okay to go ahead and let it run while I'm feeding it. So that's what you do. You let it run while you're feeding it with gloves on. And let it run, and eventually your hand will get caught. Like that. And then you will realize you're stuck, and you get pissed, and you throw your phone. Yeah, I got caught. Do not wear gloves. Huge, huge mistake. I thought, you know what? I'm wearing gloves. It's working. No, don't do it. All right, now here's what you do. You realize once you get your hand out that your glove's still stuck in the snake, so you get your hand out of there. Then you take a picture of your glove ripped. I am so fucking lucky. I am so lucky I didn't lose my hand. Then you give yourself a thumbs up because you didn't lose your thumb or any of your hand. Now, because you no longer have a glove, that snake you didn't want to touch, you're now touching. And when you pull it out, you get to rip off all the shit that's in there. All the leaves and the grass and everything else. And then, when you get to the tip of it, you realize that you have hair that sticks to your clothes. And your clothes get washed. And the hair comes off and it goes down that gray line. And your gray line gets clogged. It gets clogged with your hair. And then you sit there and contemplate shaving your fucking head, which is what I did. Because you have no idea what this, well, I know some of you guys do, because I'm sure you've dealt with this before. But for those of you that have never done this, you have no fucking idea how bad this smells, okay? It stinks. So I've gotten a lot out of there. Now, I got to walk back over the gray line. Of course, you got to call the extension cord a fucking horror again. And when you get over to it, still a trickle. Still a trickle. So you got to go back over, grab the Roto-Rooter, and bring it back over to where you started. Because it's not working where it is. It's not working. So, you get it in place, okay? And you take a picture of the hill so everybody can see how steep it is. It doesn't look that steep. I took another picture later on. So you do that. And then you hit the button because you got the line in. And you check to see if it's plugged in because it's not working. Now, if you notice real quick, I'm now plugged into a different extension cord. And the reason being, I was just so pissed off with this one that I brought it over. And then for some reason, I went and got a different extension cord. So it's working, but the test is working and stuff, but it's not working. So then I click it again, and it's still not working. It's not working. Now I'm getting mad until I look down and realize, oh, no, it's plugged in. Okay, click, plug in. Yeah. My dumbass forgot to hit the forward button. Yeah, there is an on and off switch on the back of this thing, and I forgot to turn it on. I was seriously contemplating calling the hardware store and saying, guys, this thing was just serviced on the 28th of June and I can't get the fucking thing to work. Oh, I'm glad I managed to look down and realize that I didn't turn the damn thing on to save myself the embarrassment. So I'm telling you guys, mistakes are made. Okay. I got it back going. I had my phone upside down when I recorded this, so it's a little bit of a weird angle, but it's going and going and going. And then water starts coming out. Water starts coming out. And then more water starts coming out, and I have successfully done it. Black, stinky, disgusting water that's been sitting stagnant in there for probably a couple of weeks now is finally flowing, and I have succeeded. So, once you're done doing that, you take a picture of the hill so people can get an idea, again, of how steep it is. Like I said, it's not like 90 degrees, but it's still a little bit of a hill. And then I load it back up into the wheelbarrow. And then you got to clean it. You got to pull the snake out and you clean it. Rinse it all off. Go get a rag. Wipe it all down. Because if there's any advice I can give people, it is this advice that I learned from my dad. When you rent tools or you borrow tools from anybody, you always return them in better condition than you got them in. So then you get it all cleaned up and you get it back in the truck to take back to the hardware store tomorrow. And when you're done doing all that, you be sure to properly wrap your extension cord. And now that you're filthy dirty, you decide to celebrate by taking your best friend who's been patiently waiting out to play in the pool. Because I'm already dirty anyway, so I'm not going to shower just yet. I'm going to let my guy play in the pool for a little bit, and after he's done having fun doing that, I'm going to let him run around and air dry. And now that he's air drying and he's tired, I take a shower, we eat dinner, and everyone goes to sleep. And that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is how not to do a gray line. Even though it worked, again, mistakes were made. Learn from my mistakes. You guys take care.